Resisted swimming is often thought of as a tool to develop strength and power in the water. While it absolutely can be used to accomplish those objectives, that doesn't mean it can't be used in other ways. Resisted swimming can be used to accomplish the opposite goal, and that is more endurance. Hi everyone, Andrew here, helping you help your swimmers get faster. The best strategies can be used to accomplish many different goals, and resisted swimming is one of those goals. If you're looking to improve muscular endurance, help swimmers learn how to hold and sustain their skills for longer periods of time, resisted swimming is a powerful option. It's all about how you use it and how you implement it to get the results that you're looking for. Let's take a look at how to use resisted swimming to develop more resilient skills and better endurance. In order to swim fast, swimmers need to be able to do the right things. In order to swim fast, they also need to be able to do the right things over and over and over again. If swimmers are awesome for the first 3/4 of their race and then completely fall apart, that's not helping anybody. They have to be good from start to finish if they want to optimize their performance, if they want to race successfully. And there are two aspects of that. They need to be able to sustain their technical skills, and they need to be able to sustain their physical outputs. From a technical standpoint, they have to be able to hold their skills together. If they can't execute at the same level, they're going to be a lot less efficient when they start to get tired, and that's going to create a loss of speed. It's going to make them more tired, and the problem just gets worse and worse. The more fatigued they get, the worse the skills are. The worse the skills are, the more fatigued they get, and down the drain they go. From a skill standpoint, doing it once, doing it without fatigue, it doesn't really matter. Swimmers have to be able to do it under pressure. And if you expose swimmers to more volume, that means they get more practice and more opportunities to be really consistent with how they're swimming. Sustainability is also a physical issue. While there's certainly a metabolic component to fitness, there's also a muscular component to fitness. Creating propulsion requires force, and the muscles need to be able to create that force over and over and over again in order to execute their skills, in order to move themselves down the pool. And so if swimmers get to the last quarter of the race and they don't have the physical resources to actually execute their skills well, all the focus in the world isn't going to help them get down the pool because they simply can't do that. So they need to have the physical ability to create the necessary energy and to create the necessary force in order to continue to swim well. And for those reasons, skills need to be strong, they need to be really resilient, and swimmers have to have the ability to consistently create force in order to execute those skills. How can we accomplish both those goals? Low intensity resisted swimming. So they're going to perform resisted swimming, but at much more controlled speeds and for bigger volumes. And as a result, swimmers are going to get more skill, and they're going to get more strength, more ability to repeatedly create force. And so from a skill standpoint, in order to swim against that resistance, they have to create more propulsion, and they have to hold their alignment against that extra challenge. And because we're doing this over a bigger volume, they're getting more practice, and that gives them more opportunities to execute these skills against the resistance. The resistance is not going to be as high as if you're doing more high intensity work, speed power work, race work. However, it's still going to be higher than normal, and so swimmers are going to have to work harder to create more propulsion and to hold their alignment, and because they're getting more volume, that's going to give them more practice, that's going to allow them to make more progress. And because we're loading it, now swimmers have to create higher force contractions, and they have to do that over and over and over again. And so while a lot of low intensity swimming tends to overload the metabolic capacities, improve aerobic fitness, if we do low intensity resisted swimming, we can provide more of a muscular overload from an endurance standpoint, and that's going to help swimmers get better in creating more energy efficiently and continually. They're going to get better at creating force and doing so consistently and repeatedly. That's going to further enhance their endurance in a complementary way, and that's going to allow them to go faster. That's going to allow them to maintain their skills better under pressure because they can better maintain the necessary force. So how do we take this strategy and make it even more effective? Well, you can add performance requirements. Ask them to hit certain speeds, ask them to hit certain stroke counts, ask them to hit certain stroke rates. They don't have to be maximal, they just have to be consistent, and they have to be a slight challenge. So asking them to swim slightly faster, a slightly lower stroke count, a slightly slower stroke rate, those are all going to provide them with the extra challenge to continue to get them to push a little bit harder physically and to stretch themselves more technically. You can also add different skill development strategies into the mix, different hand postures. You can use different drills. You can use different training aids. And so, for instance, using pinch paddles is going to help them put more pressure on their ability to control their wrist. Certain drills are going to put them in the right position to execute certain skills. And training aids, like a buoy, for instance, that's going to put more pressure on their upper body, and that's going to further challenge their skills if you're working on upper body propulsion. It also works well to include a lot of regular swimming in these sets to allow swimmers to apply what they're learning with the resistance, how to manipulate the water more effectively, how to maintain their alignment more effectively, and then actually get it to happen when they're swimming. And the more effectively they can do that, and the more consistently they can do that, the faster they're going to go. So let's take a look at a set that uses these ideas. So they're going to go 3 rounds through this. They're going to go 4 100s freestyle with a light parachute. They're going to descend those 1 to 4 at the same stroke count. So they've got to overcome the resistance of the parachute, and they've got to find a way to create speed while maintaining their efficiency as they go. Then they'll take the parachute off. They're going to go a 200 freestyle solid, 100 freestyle strong, and a 50 freestyle stronger, and they've got to go the same stroke count each lap for the 200, the 100, and the 50. Then by round, for each piece of that, they're going to take 2 more strokes per 50, and they're going to try to go faster. So they're descending those 4 100s, they're descending the 200, 150, they're being consistent with the stroke counts in the hundreds, they're being consistent with the stroke counts in the unresisted swimming, and by round, we're increasing the stroke counts so that they can go faster, and their goal is to actually go faster. So we're asking for really great consistency, we're further challenging that consistency and that efficiency by asking swimmers to swim with the resistance. And then after that, they should be holding water really well. They should feel like they're being really effective with their skills, and then they're going to take that into their regular swimming. This set, they're going to go 5 rounds through. They're going to go at 200 on power towers. It's going to be 25 butterfly plus 25 streamline dolphin kick on the back. And so they're going against the resistance with the butterfly. They're kicking with the resistance. That's kind of a recovery piece. They've got to go the same stroke count, each 25 on those 25s fly against the resistance. And the purpose there is to ask them to be really consistent with their skills when working against the resistance and as they start to get a little bit more fatigued. Then on the 200, they're going to go 25 butterfly plus 25 freestyle. They got to go the same stroke count each 25. So the butterflies need to stay the same. The freestyle 25s need to stay the same. And then each round, they're trying to go faster. So we're having them do some resistance in a lower intensity environment, a more continuous swimming environment. And they've got to be really good with their efficiency. They've got to be really good with their consistency. And they've got to try to get faster as they go. And then after we do the resistance work, we're going to apply the same concepts to the 200. They've got to be consistent. They've got to be efficient. And they've got to get faster as they go. And so by adding the resistance, we're getting more of a muscular component. We're challenging their skills to a higher level, and they're going to get a lot of high quality swimming in that's going to help them get better. Last set's going to be backstroke and kick base. They're going to go 225s backstroke fast with drag socks just to get things moving, challenge the legs a little bit. Then they're going to go 350s streamline flutter kick on their back with drag socks. They're going to slight descend 1 to 3. Then they're going to go 4 100s as 50 flutter kick on the back plus 50 backstroke. That's without drag socks. They're going to slight descend those 1 to 4. And then each time through, we're going to repeat the 225s to give them a little spike with the legs to start each round. And then we're going to repeat the 350s, but their goal is to descend down to faster. They don't have to descend down to a crazy speed, but they should be getting better as they go. Then on the hundreds, we're going to keep the same basic idea, 50 flutter kick on the back plus 50 backstroke. They're going to continue to descend them, but we're going to drop a rep each round, and they're going to start faster, and they're going to end faster. So the last one should be the best one. The goal here is to get the legs a little bit tired. Develop some muscular endurance in the legs, and then help swimmers learn how to get faster and faster as they go, working with the kick and then adding the swim on top of it. So they got to learn, how do I sustain my legs and how do I sustain my legs when I swim? Drag socks are also really effective at helping swimmers kick effectively, because if they don't kick with great skills, they pretty much don't go anywhere. And so not only are we developing some muscular endurance, we're helping swimmers learn how to kick more effectively, and then they're going to try to take that better kicking into their swimming. If you want to learn another great strategy to help swimmers improve with resisted swimming, check out the video below.